Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope you are doing amazing. I hope you've had an amazing week. For those of you who are tuning in for the very first time to Mental Health Moment with Dr. Hammond, welcome. It's Dr. Nikisha Hammond here. Typically, I am not in a car for a Mental Health Moment, but I was attending an event for a board that I'm on with some amazing teenagers. And we just got out of the event, so I'm like, let me log on here real quick for you all. But welcome. For those of you who tune in every single week, welcome back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. And if you are watching on YouTube, welcome. Be sure to like, subscribe, share this video again, not normally in the car. Let me know in the chat here where you're tuning in from today. I am in Tampa Bay area of Florida. And I just wanted to remind you quickly today, because again, I am en route here, not driving right now, but getting ready to be on my merry way here. But I wanted to remind you all today about how important it is, especially for those who are new to Mental Health Moment. We talk all things, how do you become the best version of who you are so you can show up for yourself and show up for those around you. I was just in Texas, actually, last couple days ago in Texas, had a really great time, a really great community speaking about stress management and how do we balance ourselves, right? So I want to remind you all today how important it is to take those moments, how important it is for the reset and the recharge. There's a lot happening. Before you know it, you all, we will be at the end of the year, before you know it, right? The end of the year always seems to fly by. We got holidays. Some of you may be sending your kids back to school. I know we are in Florida. Some of you may live in other parts, and maybe it's next month for you. But nonetheless, it's a lot that's going to be coming up soon, especially the last couple months of the year. So I want to remind you today to make sure you're resetting, you're working on recharging your batteries, if you will, and thinking about how can you take the time that you need. Is it meditation? Is it prayer? Is it relaxation time? What is it that you need right now? Because remember, as I always share on Mental Health Moment, it's so important to be checking in with yourself. What do you need in this moment? So again, I want to remind you all, what are you doing for the reset? What are you doing for the recharge, right? For yourself. Again, do not wait. And maybe you're already in that boat, and it's okay if you are. But do not wait until you get to the point where you're burned out. Do not wait till you get to the point where you're so overwhelmed, you don't know what to do, right? Like, let's work on how do you reset and recharge, even if you're at a peaceful place right now, right? Even if whether you're in a dark time right now, whether you're in a peaceful place, whether you're at the happiest time of your life, no matter where you're at mentally and emotionally, always think about, how can I rejuvenate myself? How can I grow as a person? How can I reset? How can I recharge? When you start to think like that, when it really becomes a part of who you are, that's when you'll really see your life changing. Man, I've heard so many things about California, whether it's an earthquake, whether it's a tropical storm, or whatever it is you're going through. Prayers for everyone, or if anyone's here from Hawaii. I mean, I know it's been a lot, right? With natural disasters, with fires, and with flooding, and all these things happening. So please make sure you're praying for one another, because it's a lot happening, right, in the world. So again, I want to remind you, yes, make sure to keep others in your thoughts. Send them good vibes, loves, prayers, whatever it is that you believe in, for those individuals. And also make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Whether you're stressed out right now, it doesn't even have to necessarily be something going on in your own life. You might be looking at what's happening on social media and be stressed out, because that can be stressful sometimes, seeing the negativity, seeing all that around you. But how can you reset? How can you recharge, right? And again, some of the things that can really be helpful is to think about taking some downtime. It doesn't have to be a long time, but taking the time to, whatever it is, meditate, taking the minute. One of the things I talked about in my keynote this past Friday when I was in Texas, was really thinking about, and I've shared this before, a Mental Health Moment, and I'm going to remind you all, if you're at a point where you're like, man, I don't have the time for self-care, I'm so busy, all these sorts of things, we all have at least 60 seconds a day, you all. 1 minute. 1 minute. You have 60 seconds in your day. During that time, you can do literally whatever you want. Claim that time for you, the 60 seconds minimum. But let's start, if you're at the starting point, that's okay. With your self-care journey, take the 60 seconds. And literally, this is something I did for myself years ago when I really was trying to make that commitment, and to self-care, was trying to make that commitment and to doing better, putting myself first, making myself a priority, because it's a mental shift for that to happen. It's a mindset change, and it's not always easy because we've been conditioned, you all, to think, put everything above except for yourself. But that's not healthy. It's not healthy for you to be putting every single thing above your mental health. It's not healthy, but that is how it is. In many instances, we've been taught that self-care is not selfish, though, right? So I want you to think about, if you gave yourself as many times in a week as you could, every day, or as many days as possible in the week, 60 seconds to yourself, what would you be doing? So let me know in the chat, what would you do if you could devote 60 seconds? And you can even time it, because I know some of you are like, oh, 60 seconds, is this a trick? Is this really like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour? No, it literally is 60 seconds to start. If you're at the point where, like, man, I don't have any time, if that's what you're saying as an excuse, we really all just do, but we find things that are more important than our mental health. You can time it on your phone if you don't believe me, 60 seconds or whatever timer you want to use. But if you had the 60 seconds, so let me know in the chat, if you had the 60 seconds, what would you do during that time? And it's funny because I asked the people in Texas, where I was at when I was speaking, and I even asked the group, I said, what would you do with that 60 seconds? And it was amazing because everyone had a different answer. And the reality is, as long as it's something healthy, you all, right, in those 60 seconds, as long as it's something healthy for you, there's no wrong answer. There literally is no wrong answer. Every single thing that you all are writing in this chat is absolutely okay to do. They're literally, again, as long as it's healthy, a healthy behavior, there's no wrong answer. And these are some of the answers actually that I got when I was in Texas. People were saying to pray. People were saying to meditate. People were saying, take a deep breath. Someone said, do their affirmations, whatever it is. We're talking about 60 seconds. There's so many things, you all. And what it does, no, I am not saying that taking 60 seconds a day is going to cure anything, is going to make all your problems go away, any of that stuff. But what I'm saying is, you start to train your mind to know it's okay. Like, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to recharge. It's okay to have joy. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to be emotionally healthy. You deserve those things. But what happens, you all, is because of, maybe it could be trauma, it could be your background, it could be some past experience, it could be society, whatever it is. Sometimes anxiety, depression, all these things start to lie to you and tell you you don't deserve, right? You don't deserve to be happy, or you deserve to be punished, or all these things that are not true. That is what our brain tells us. There's a lot of thoughts that we have that are not true, you all, about you. Horrible things that we tell ourselves that are not true, right? So that's why, again, like I said, start, if you're like, man, I'm at the beginning of the self-care journey, that's okay. Start with the 60 seconds. 60 seconds. What can you do during that time? I used to know someone, what she would do is she would set an alarm on her phone, and like, when the alarm would go off on her phone, it would be the message. So whatever it is, whatever the message was, the affirmation. So whatever that message was would be the affirmation, right? Another thing that people have done is they've put scriptures. If, again, this community, we're open to every race, religion, ethnicity. Everybody's welcome here. But for you, if that is something that motivates you, some people have done that. They put an alarm on their phone and they meditate or think about or pray, about a certain scripture. Whatever it is that you need to do to remind yourself to take that 1 minute minimum, is what I want you to think about this week. There are studies that the power of visualization, when you think about something like that person in the chat said, like a 1 minute vacation, and you can really imagine the place that brought you the most joy, wherever it was. It is even, maybe you didn't even leave your house, maybe it was your backyard, maybe it was outside, or wherever it was, a place that brought you so much joy. And when you really, really, truly visualize yourself there, and feel all those feelings. Your brain sometimes doesn't know the difference between you visualizing that situation and the fact that it's not really happening, right? So meaning you can really feel that joy. You can feel the euphoria. You can feel your positive thoughts, like all those things. You can feel good about that same memory that you have, positive memory that you have when you bring that back up. But there's a lot of studies on that, you all. Visualization is very powerful, which is why it's also really important to be aware of what we're thinking about. Because just as how visualization can be positive for us, right? When we're having those positive thoughts and positive memories, when you really start, and it's hard sometimes, I know, though, with depression and anxiety and all those sorts of things, when you spiral down, sometimes you go through the dark thoughts and the dark path and all the things, telling yourself all the negative things, that can really take a toll on you as well. So it goes both ways. But visualization is very important. Last week, sometime, the days are starting to blur together. I think it was last Wednesday. I went to the Beyonce concert, you guys. Speaking of music, wow, for those of you who've gone, oh my goodness. That was the best concert of my life, by the way, as an aside. There was so much joy. There just was so much happiness. I was in the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Stadium that we have here in Tampa. And so this outdoor huge stadium was really hot. However, everyone was so happy. Everybody was singing. The concert was amazing. Everything was beautiful. It was such a beautiful experience that everyone was having surrounding music, right? Surrounding music. Now, you don't have to necessarily be at the Beyonce concert. It probably helps if you're a Beyonce fan and you're at the concert, but you don't even have to have that. You can listen. I listen to Beyonce all the time. At home, I'm dancing, I'm singing, right? We can recreate these positive memories, these positive experiences. So yes, and whoever said music, I'm like, yes, definitely, right? So it's just for us again, where are you spending your 60 seconds? Right, that you're going to do. Your language is very powerful. The words that you're telling yourself, the self-talk. We did again a whole mental moment about positive self-talk. It really does make a difference. Very, very important. So again, I'm reminding you of these things. I'm about to head out of here soon because it's starting to get dark. I need to get out of this parking lot. But I'm reminding you again, this week coming up, think about, where am I spending the minimum? Now, if you have more time, please spend more time than a minute. But if you're at the starting point, if you're overwhelmed, stressed out, you're like, I don't have any time, then start with 60 seconds. It's a good place to start. You can even time yourself, right? But make sure all the things you were saying here, but for sure, think about where you're spending these 60 seconds and make sure that you are intentionally doing things that bring you joy and doing things that are good for your mental health. So with that, I am going to head out, but I will be back next Tuesday, probably not in a car. Next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and link. Have an amazing week, you all. Make sure, again, to incorporate your 60 seconds minimum, whatever it is that, again, brings you joy, whatever it is that brings you peace and allows you to reset and recharge. And I'll see you guys next week. All right, bye, you guys. Take care of yourselves.